Hello, and welcome to Homestudies e-learning for advanced. Thanks for joining us. In this video, we'll take a look at the Writing Part 2 overview and letter writing. In this video, we're going to go through Part 2, task information, discuss letter conventions, look at the opening and closing formula for letters, check out how to write clear opening sentences, begin analyzing functional language, in this case, complaining, and lastly, drafting an action plan. But before you get started, it is a good idea to print out the PDF handout of this unit so you can easily make notes and underline key information during the tasks. Or, if you don't have a printer, you can download it to a different device and use a highlighting tool for note-taking. Task information. Just like in Writing Part 1, the word limit is between 220 and 260 words. Choose only one task from a choice of 3. Here you have the option of writing a letter, a review, a report, or a proposal. In the same way as Part 1, the Part 2 question will inform you what you have to write, why you are writing, and who you are writing to. Letter conventions. Openings and closings. There is an array of different ways to open and close a letter. The choice is dependent on the letter recipient. Formal letters, such as job applications, have a range of openings and closings, as well as informal letters, like a letter to a friend. Now it is time for a task. Opening and closing letters. Add the opening and closing formula to either the formal or informal sections. So pause the video and press play when you're ready to continue. Now let's have a look at the answers. Formal opening formula. Dear Mr., Mrs. or Ms. and add the recipient. Dear Sir or Madam. To whom this may concern, which you would use when you do not know who you are writing to. Informal opening formula. Hi and the recipient's name. Hello and the recipient's name. And dear and the recipient's name. Formal closing formula. Yours faithfully. Yours sincerely. And kind regards, or just regards. Informal closing formula. Take care, all the best, talk to you soon, and best wishes. So now let's have a look at some more letter conventions. Now, one very important aspect of beginning or opening a letter is clearly stating at the beginning your purpose for writing. However, the style of sentence, that being formal or informal, will differ considerably depending on the reader or type of letter you are writing. Therefore, it is time for another task, so you can discover some of the introductory sentences. Match the types of letters below to the opening sentences. So pause the video and press play when you're ready to review. So, let's take a look at the answers. A complaint letter. I'm writing to express my dissatisfaction. This is clearly a conventional opening complaint sentence to a company. Furthermore, you could replace dissatisfaction with many other nouns, such as frustration, annoyance, etc. Requesting advice from a friend. I just thought I'd get in touch with. Now, we know that this is a friend, as the phrasal verb get in touch is colloquial, and get some tips is an informal way of saying receive some advice. Response, letter to a friend. Getting back to you. Now this means to reply, and it must be to someone you know well, as it is very conversational language. Resignation letter. I regret to inform you that I will resign from my current position. Now, this is clearly bad news. It is also formal and evidently to your employer. Description letter to a friend. Now, this is obviously conversational language, as the phrase ins and outs of something means to give details or characteristics or describe something. Furthermore, the verb update is defined as give current information. And the last one, job application letter. I'm writing to apply for, you can add a job or position in that place. And instead of position, you could also write job or role. Functional language. Each task or piece of writing has a different purpose, so therefore requires a different style of language. We think about the task in functional terms. The function of a type of writing could be complaining, recommending, or explaining, and many more. For example, you could write many types of letters, and one of them could be a complaint letter. Therefore, let's do a task that demonstrates the types of phrases and sentences you could use to write such a complaint letter. Functional language complaining. For each of the complaint sentences, fill in the missing words. Now, pay attention to and note down the phrases in bold, as it will be helpful in any complaint letter. Furthermore, most of the missing words are prepositions, as many students get these wrong in completing these phrases. So pause the video and press play when you're ready to go on. Welcome back. Now let's discover the answers. Number 1. I'm dissatisfied with the product and service that I have received. Number 2. In my opinion, your course has been a total waste of my time and money. Number 3. I'm writing to complain about the sales staff at your Boston branch. I'm sorry to say this, but your company has fallen well short of my expectations. Number 5. It was disappointing to be spoken to so rudely by members of your so-called customer service team. Number 6. I'm afraid there is a problem with the internet connection in our room. Number 7. I'm hoping you can help me, as there seems to be something wrong with the program I purchased from your company last month. And number 8. We will not use your service again, as your products are overpriced when compared to your competitors. Now, let's have a look at creating an action plan. Choose the task that you believe you can write the best answer to. Read the question carefully. Underline the key points. Based on the task you choose, think about what style and conventions you need to use, using opening or closing sentences, for example. Consider what functional language you have to implement. Write a short plan before writing. Write and proofread. So let's take a look at an example complaint letter question from the exam. You recently had an unpleasant experience when you were shopping in a department store. One of the assistants wrongly accused you of shoplifting. Although you were able to prove that you had paid for the item in question, you received no apology. Write a letter to the manager of the shop saying why you were angry and disappointed, and asking for some kind of compensation for the way you were treated. Say that you will take further action if you do not receive an official apology. Write your letter. You do not need to include a postal address. Now it's time for a task. Match the definitions below to the vocabulary in bold in the complaint letter. This vocabulary could be useful in any complaint letter. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to go on. So let's take a look at the answers. The first one. Inexplicably. Now this means in a way that cannot be accounted for or explained. Exacerbated. To increase irritation, severity, or bitterness. Compensation. Something given or received in order to make up for a loss or damage. Wrongdoing. Behavior or action that is bad, immoral, etc. Conduct. Personal behavior or a way of acting. Docked. To deduct from wages or pay. Forthcoming. Ready or available when expected or required. To make matters worse. To make an already unpleasant or difficult situation more so. And that's the end of part 2, overview and letter writing. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that it has helped you to understand letter writing conventions. But before I leave, I just want to give you one final tip. Clarity is key to writing letters. The marker needs to know who you are writing to and why. And don't forget to do the practice activities and quizzes in this module to consolidate the techniques you've just learnt. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.